Hi, if you like the video, please remember to subscribe. Hi, I'm Rob from RobinOnPhoto.com, and today we're going to be taking a look at the photography editing app extraordinaire, which is Snapseed, which is free on Android. And I'm going to be demonstrating it on the most wonderful HTC One Max phablet smartphone. So let's dive in and let's have a look. Quite simply, although the built-in camera app of the HTC One Max in the Sense user interface is very, very good indeed. If you want super power, if you want probably something that would be work just as well on your desktop, and in fact this probably is a more powerful editing application than many desktop programs. Snapseed, you've just got to give it a try. So what I'd like to do today is run through lots of the sort of options you have. Just give you an idea of what you can do, and yeah, encourage you to play around. So first off, let's get an image, and we could oh no, we don't want to do that. Let's get an image. We could take a photo, or we could choose a photo. So let's go into my gallery and let's have a look at camera shots, and let's pick a fairly ordinary photo just to play around with. Let's pick this one. I've used this one in a couple of videos already, haven't I? So this is just a nice colourful picture, symmetrical, of a door in a warehouse unit. So first things first, obviously you can see the image. We could either work in landscape or we could work in portrait mode, and so let's click on automatic first. So using the automatic mode, we can then adjust different parts of the image. We can look at color correction and contrast correction, and the way that it kind of works within the Snapseed user interface is as you go up and down with your thumb or finger on the screen, you can choose what you're working on. Let's say contrast, and then as you go left and right, you can kind of change. So I'm adding different types of contrast there. We go to color correction. We could change the amount of color correction that's being applied. The auto bit at the beginning really is just for that sort of thing. It's just getting in there and just quickly doing it. However, where we want to do is we want to get more control, don't we? So we want to go into something like tune image. Let's have a look at tune image first. So this is the one where if we go up and down, we can see that we can work on the brightness of the image, the ambience, contrast, saturation or color. Ooh. The detail in the shadows and the warmth. Now you've really got to play with the different things. So first off, let's check on contrast. As you can see, super contrast, very little contrast, super contrast, very little contrast. Or I tell you, let's work on the saturation. Let's take that color all the way down. Or I tell you, let's make it really, really bold. Ambience. Pretty sure ambient, it works on the saturation of colours that aren't very saturated to start off with. Let's have a look at the shadows. Let's really bring out the the detail in the shadows and the warmth. So as you can see, we've got lots of control over the overall global look of our image. We could straighten the image, normal stuff, very good. And one thing I would say to remember is this app will save your photos at full resolution. We can go and we can crop our image, and what we can then do is we can choose the aspect ratio, say 3:2, what it was to start off with. Maybe do a widescreen shot, maybe do a square shot, have the original. So that's all the sort of stuff we would expect as well. And then we can work on things like sharpening. So again, you've got to be careful with sharpening, especially on a camera. On a phone screen, because you can't always see it in incredible detail, but basically that adds sharpening. Or structure. Now structure is very exciting. It kind of gives you pictures. It's kind of it's a bit like it's similar to sharpening, but in sharpening often you get lots of halos. With structure, it just kind of brings out the texture of your images there. We can go for black and white. Now the black and white conversion process is incredible. So again, by going up and down, we could work on the brightness of the image, like so. We could work on the contrast, like so. We can add more film grain if we wanted to, or if we tap down here, we could add a particular type of filter to simulate the use of a filter, or we've got lots of presets down here that we can flick through, which are amazing different things. So lots of different tools for converting to black and white. Then we've got the vintage look. So what we can then do again is this is producing like a faded type of photograph, but again you've got all these controls, so we can choose the brightness, we could choose how much color we want with saturation, the texture strength. So this is the kind of grittiness that's been added to the photo. There's like the vignette effect. I mean, that looks really nice, doesn't it? And then the style strength, so we're in effect fading the look of it out. Really, really good stuff. Drama. This I like this one. So we can pump up the filter strength, and we can change the saturation. And again, it's just adding that little bit more punch to your photos. You wouldn't be using all these filters together, I'd like to say. You tend to find a particular filter that works with a particular photo. HDR. So again, we can make it faux HDRs like that. How cool is that? We could tone that down. Again, just bringing out all that detail. You can see the detail appearing inside the room. We can change the saturation. We can smooth the effect to kind of get it looking more natural. Really, really fantastic. Grunge is fun. So with grunge, you can move your sort of excuse me, your focus of your image. You can change the size of the focus that you're working on, and then we can say, okay, we can increase the texture. So this is really making the photo really sort of dark and like it's been printed on really crappy paper, or the paper's been damaged. We could increase the contrast, decrease it, and we could knock back that saturation, something like that. And there's lots of different textures we can choose from to play around with. You can kind of randomize it as well and just work through different looks to see if there's something that really works for you. Center focus, really powerful, this one. Again, fabulous for producing selective focus shots. You choose where the middle is, how big the effect will be, and then you can change the blur strength. Let's get that out. Let's get that bit of effect. Let's just have the 6 in focus. Let's make that really small. And let's do the blur strength loads. And let's do the outer brightness. Let's knock that down. And the inner brightness, let's knock that up. So you can how amazing is this? All on a phone. Tilt shift speaks. It won't particularly work very well on this particular image, but it enables you to create the look of photos that have been taken of model. Makes a full-size scene in front of you. Say you're taking a picture of a car park down onto a town, makes everything look like models. So that's quite cool. Retrolux is another one that again produces. You can sort of press the button here and go through random looks, but you could also go up and change the style and producing old looking, grainy looking, lomography looking photographs. And then we've got frames as well, so we can add lots of different types of frames to our image, just to give it that nice fun kind of look, and just to add a little bit of character, I think, often to our photographs. Often less is more. Oh, I like that one. I like the ones that look like pooled Polaroids. Now, as you can see, we've got loads and loads of power, and I've kind of left one of the most powerful things to last, which is selective adjust. Now, selective adjust is amazing. And what you do with selective adjust is you can choose a point on the picture, say this 6, and I can change the size of the area I want to influence. And then literally, just within that sphere of influence of this point, I can then say, well, actually, I want to reduce the contrast within that particular area, or I want to increase it. In fact, there's probably let's get rid of that, and let's do it again. Let's do it on, say, let's add a selection point to here. So we're now in here, so let's reduce the saturation. So you can probably see all the colour is coming out of there, or I could boost it. Or I could work on the contrast of that particular area. and it gives you the ability to work on particular areas of your photo without affecting others, in a similar way that you could probably work with masks and layers in Photoshop. Very, very powerful indeed. Yeah, really enjoyable. So there we go. Snapseed on the HTC One Max. Obviously, the beauty of working with HTC One Max editing photos is the sheer size of the screen. It really is very, very impressive and makes editing photos a joy. Snapseed, probably the best photo editing app out there. I particularly really enjoy the black and white conversions, and I also particularly enjoy oops, not that one, the grungy sort of stuff. I think this is great fun, to give your photos that kind of lomography look. But overall, if you haven't got this app on your phone, why not download it free from the Google Play Store, sorry. You won't regret it. Have a play around, and just remember, less is more, but you'll really add some drama to your photographs. My name's Rob from robnonphoto.com. Thanks for watching.